y'all, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm here to talk about this book, Did You Hear About Kitty Karr? And this is my most recent read that I finished. And y'all, I loved this book. I usually don't give books ratings, but this was definitely a 5-star read. 5-star read. This was a 5-star read. It was a 5-star read. So I'm gonna read the synopsis for you guys and then tell you guys my thoughts on the book. All right. When Kitty Karr Tate, a white icon of the silver screen, dies and bequeaths her multi-million-dollar estate to the St. John sisters, three young, wealthy black women, it prompts questions, lots of questions. A celebrity in her own right, Elise St. John would rather focus on sorting out Kitty's affairs than deal with the press. But what she discovers in one of Kitty's journals rocks her world harder than any other brewing scandal could. And between a cheating fiance and the fallout from a controversial social media post, there are plenty. So yes, did you hear about Kitty Karr? So I originally heard about this book. I want to get the TikToker's name right. I'm going to try to put it on the screen if I can't if I can't see her. But okay, so her name is called I Am KCR Kelly, and it's Casey's Bookshelf. That is the TikToker that I heard about this book from. Y'all probably can't see it. But anyway, I wanted to look her up and pretty much just give her credit for getting or reading this book. And this is historical fiction. It's not technically a true story or anything. This is also Crystal Smith Paul's first or her debut book, and I was so sad to learn that fact because you know when you like an author, you're like, okay, let me go get all the books that they have because you've struck gold. Like, just read their whole catalog. But this is her first book, so I was like, okay, so hopefully another one is coming. I think it is. I started following her on Instagram and I think another book is coming. And I am so excited, but I love this book. I love this book. I don't want to give too much away because I want y'all to read it. But if you love historical fiction, you definitely should read this. Old Hollywood glamour, what was going on in studios and what was going on with black people. You should definitely read this book. Definitely read this book. So before I jump into spoilers, if you haven't read the book, you should probably stop right here. But if you've read it and you want to see the full review, I'm going to go ahead and tell you my thoughts. So this does have to do with passing, which I have found an intriguing subject, considering that, you know, if I was born in back then, let's say 40s, 50s is what we were dealing with, or like the 50s, 60s actually. 50s through the 70s era, they go into, they start with Kitty's mother's story. I don't know why I put quotation marks. So they start with Kitty's mother's story into how she had her daughter and the sacrifices that she made for her daughter to become who she became. And it goes through this actress's life and how she had to make sacrifices to become the actress that she became, win an Oscar, and make these great films. And it deals, like I said, with the topic of passing. And I was saying that I felt like if I was, you know, born in that time, I couldn't pass. That's not something that I would be able to do. And I wonder why people did what they did, not knowing, but I know that because they felt like they would have a better life. That is a reason why a lot of people did what they did. And they felt like they would be protected from certain things that black people had to go through back then and that they're still going through now. This was a great story. And it read like it was real. Like, I absolutely believe that there could be an organization where they secretly fund the movement through donations and things like that. And then even the fact that Elise in her current day and time made a stand against something that she thought was wrong, and people looked at her like she was crazy, and it created a controversy. All in all, I will say that I love this book, the dual timelines of, you know, starting from 1930 and working our way up until about 1969, I think, in Kitty's life, or, you know, her mother to Kitty, and so on and so forth. And just working through what, three generations of women? No, 4 generations. Yeah, 4 generations of women. And why did she give the money to them? It's a great question. You should read the book. But yeah, I loved every part of this book. This book was 400 pages. And at the end, I was like, dang, I could have read another chapter or two. Like, I wanted to keep going with the story. I just love the book that much. I would definitely be rereading this book. It was a great book. It was a great book. It was a great book. I can't say that enough. The only thing that I wish, I definitely saw another review earlier about this book, and the only thing that I wish was different is that we had more information on what happened to certain characters in the story and had a little bit more tied up. But as far as the resolution of what happened, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Yeah, it's not I mean, it's technically not present day, but it was definitely like more present than 1969. So it's between 2017 and way back then, and we go between Kitty and Elise. And so also the other characters, not characters, but the other people that were involved, like Nathan. I wish we had more of, a little bit more of what he had to say. We kind of did. Actually, no, he has said enough. I kind of wish that I knew more of Sarah's thought process, and I wish I knew more about what Nellie thought, and I wish I knew a little bit more about what her sisters thought, and I also wish I knew more about what Emma thought. But so many things came up with this book. I don't want to say the R word on this channel because I don't know how YouTube is about things like that, but there is like essay in this book, and like I said, it mentions passing. There's just so many things that they go into in the thought processes of these women, and, you know, Hollywood, and like making the films, and like people hiring personal or private investigators to go after people. Before you had social media in so many different ways you could do that, people were hiring PIs to do that kind of thing. And it was just a very well put together book. It was a masterpiece. This book is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. And I mean, historical fiction is my favorite genre, so that's why I feel so strongly about this. People also compare this book to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I've never read that book, but this was great. And I loved it. I enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend it. 5 stars for this book. I didn't want to go too in detail because I want you to read the book. I want you to read the book. But yeah, I enjoyed this book so much. And yeah, I don't have anything like bad or negative to say. I'm just waiting for her next book. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.